there where all of our friends are.
Yeah, I mean.
No.
Upper right, maybe.
The upper right?
Yeah, those don't look like it as red up there.
Yeah, okay, I could go with that.
Yeah, the
Maybe where that spot lobster is wandering around.
There are so many squat
I know.
lobsters.
The one that's moving, though. See the one that's, like, raising its arms? Like, hey.
All of them?
Hey! Uh-oh. I think the control room's losing it a little bit.
So.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I think so.
Am I up?
They're gonna.
Yeah, you're
Bring up mini zoos for me.
Absolutely.
Swim off.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to try to collect a rock in this area. We're going to go for one of these ones that's
Do you want to take
upper,
it?
upper right
yeah,
hand
sure.
of the screen right now. And just if we can, we're going to try to drive a squat lobster in with it.
Rotate up, over.
And to the right.
That's going to work. No, me neither.
Arm is
But
alive.
we can be surprised.
Are you going for starboard or port?
We'll go starboard.
You actually picked up some snails as well.
Well, that's true, because the snails can't escape quickly.
We do a partial on mini zoos.
You
got it. Zoom in on mini zoos.
This was a volcanic crater to begin with. So there's rock or volcanic plastic
Holding here.
underlying this whole thing, and that perhaps but the whole thing was venting also, and then all this sulfide is a cap on top of the rock, or a coating on the outside. So it's not actually all made up of sulfide, but it's just a superficial thing.
You know, Bill, to me that actually sounds quite reasonable, because none of us can really figure out how simply a sulfide mound could end up with this crater-like shape. So having two different geologic events sort of makes sense. All right, so we've got a rock. Are we going to be able to hold on to that rock?
We will indeed.
Okay, can we do some zooms on it?
Sure.
I'm going to take your main HC.
Okay.
I'll come up a little. All right.
Come in video. Actually, can you keep coming up?
This needs to go into a bio box,
lasers on
or
for
do you
this,
think this can go into a regular rock box?
No.
Got it.
Regular box.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, zooming in.
Just making sure. That would have been my guess.
Holding here.
Copy.
The other thing, though, is about that idea that it's just a coating. On the way in, it just seemed like there was sulfide everywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any place where you could say, oh, that's rock and that's sulfide. So it would be a little surprising if the sulfide were coating the whole thing everywhere, but maybe that's possible.
Do we like this rock?
Do you guys like this rock? Bill? Patty? Bob?
You can come wide, mini zoos.
Zooming out, mini zoos.
Thank you.
Anyone?
Full wide.
looks good.
Okay. Yes, we're good with this rock.
Can bring the. Okay, thank you.
Zoom in, Zeus plus.
Yeah, thanks. Bring the starboard one in.
All right.
Full wide.
Starboard wing coming in.
As I said at the event log, it does make sense that what we saw in
Copy,
terms
thank you,
of
video.
the features on the payload.
You want me to come down on mini zoos?
Yeah, sure.
Because those fragments looked like pillow fragments and did have sort of rippled surfaces, slightly
I have to correct you, though. It's Bob Embley's idea, not Bob Stern.
Ooh, thank you, Bob Embley.
We're lucky to have two geologists named Bob.
Watch leads. What sample number is this?
This is one.
This is one. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we haven't sampled anything yet. All right, so we have collected our first sample for this dive, or we're in the process of just finishing its collection as it drops into the starboard front rock box. Thank you.
Job pilot.
It's bouncy down there.
All right, bring the starboard wing outboard.
It'd be great to get a temperature from that, where all that shimmering water is coming out, too.
Does everyone want to get a temperature here?
I don't know if we can reach that.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I know Julie has actually asked me if we can
I don't think we can reach that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my
Let me
arm...
Pilot,
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I just heard the answer to this, but I will ask anyways. Is there a way that we can set up so that we could actually deploy the high T probe into this diffuse flow?
We can set up for that. We can't reach it right now, but I can get over there.
About how long do you think it would take to like get over there, reset up, and then deploy the probe? I just want to know.
Probably 10, 15.
Okay, let me follow up with them.
Okay, hydraulics are off here.
All right.
So we could take
Saving valve packs.
a temperature probe here. We could deploy the probe into that nice, pretty
Ramping down, disabling HPO.
voluminous flow.
Okay, we can.
It will require
I'll
us to
recenter
reset
your-
up and then
Oh,
deploy
actually-
the high
No,
T probe.
I took
so
them
it'll
back.
probably be
That's
like
okay.
10, 15 minutes
Okay.
additional. Is that of interest still?
Thank you.
Hold on a second.
Please hold.
Let's just continue around the rim unless anybody else wants to look more at this point. So I guess that's a no for the temperature.
Okay, then that's what we'll do.
Pilot, if you look in your port
I don't
rail
think we've
camera,
seen
do
the
you see
north
that
rim yet, which would be
long,
around to our left.
spiky thing on top of the rock?
Port.
All right, I will check with the
Looks
nav
like it's
and
got
pilot,
almost
make
like a
sure
sponge
that that's
sitting
the
on top
direction
of the
to go
rock.
in, and then we will do that. So
Oh
now,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Certainly don't want to reposition the ship to get anywhere. So
we think that we haven't seen the northern part of this caldera or crater. Can you tell me if that's correct? Do you think that's correct? And if so, can we get there without a really big ship position? Oh, look at that little tiny sulfide. Little extinct guy just sitting on top.
And look at how much light there is in here.
That was all nav there.
Yeah. In answer to your question, watch lead, my tracking is, my margin of error in my tracking with all the hot water flowing around and is
partial
basically
video.
the diameter of the feature.
Holding here.
So
Hold there, yeah.
I am not sure. I don't
Looks like
think
it's warm in between.
we've seen the eastern.
me and
I've seen
it.
the eastern side, but I'm not entirely sure about the northern side. We can certainly come around there, but this whole thing is basically one tether length across, so we should be able to
Let's just
get
keep it here, video.
anywhere
Hold
in
here.
here without much fuss.
Perfect. Perfect.
I was focusing, not zooming there.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was just
continue along and looking at
saying
the
I don't think
rim,
I'm going to want to zoom anymore.
Sure.
Sitting to the left.
Okay, that's what we will do. Hey, pilot.
Go ahead.
So what we'd like to do is traverse around the rim, sort of pointing to your left first, and then just kind of traverse around the rim and take a look to see what's here.
Okay. Counterclockwise then. You want to?
You've already seen what's to your right in the near field, so
Okay.
that would make the most sense.
Copy. Can you come full wide?
I
Video?
think Sirius
Alright,
is
full wide.
probably
so
more
we
or
are
less
gonna,
in the center, so you
traverse
should be able
along
to.
Full
this
wide.
rim,
Okay.
and we're going
Copy.
to head
Thank
off.
you.
We're going to pan left to begin, and we'll wander around until someone tells us to do something else.
And for future planning, we are about 150 meters from the next waypoint, so
Okay.
that's about 30 minutes of travel.
Yeah, sure.
Whoever's talking right now, I can't hear you. So if you can just put it into the event log, because I have no idea what was just said.
So if you guys could help me look for shimmers so I don't drive over them, that'd be good.
Okay,
Copy
we can
that.
make that happen.
I assume there will be a lot of life by those things, but
So everything looks like sulfide so far.
you can lose the skids video.
Zooming in.
Thanks.
Holding here.
Definitely less diffuse flow here now that we've come out of that vent area.
You got spiky things to port on sonar.
Copy. Spin to take a look here. Looks like there's some
There's some
life
flow,
over here,
yeah.
so yeah. There's some flow there. Anything underneath me,
I just switched it back over.
co-pilot?
I don't see anything.
Copy.
Another diffuse area, that little whitish area.
I appreciate it.
Anything at my toes.
All right, so it looks like we might be seeing a few more little patches of diffuse flow, bacterial mat. Yes? No?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty glowy to me. Definitely that stuff up in the left.
Yeah, we can do
I'm a
a
little worried about
we can
my
do a snap
ability
here.
to identify bacterial mat right now.
Keep coming. Hold there.
Oh
Hold
yeah,
it.
that's a
Yeah,
nice little patch.
it's definitely. And then if you just hold that, I'll kind of walk it over to the left here.
Okay, holding here.
I know we're a ways off.
Nice shimmering warm water, but no snails here. How come?
Okay, you can come wide.
Zooming out.
Get
Full
in a
wide.
little tighter. How did I get lighter after I picked up the rock?
Some little tiny chimneys over there on the left.
Oh yeah.
So much stuff in the water column.
Yeah.
Gonna zoom tiny chimneys, Dan.
Zooming tiny chimneys.
Tiny chimneys. Is that like tiny bubbles? Chimlets. Little chimlets.
Hold there.
Holding here.
Those things are white, huh?
Yep, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes, I
they're
can.
very
Actually,
bright.
much better.
What happened was my phone had been on so long the battery ran out.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Is that green?
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like copper. After.
So, Deb, I have a suggestion.
Great.
Okay, so our heading is 280, so we're kind of looking west-northwest. So we're on the northwest.
Come back in for that whole thing there.
So, my idea is to turn to the southeast and
Okay, you can come wide.
down the
Zoom it out.
bottom of this thing, and then back up the other side.
Full wide.
Copy.
And on that, heading towards waypoint 7, which is in that direction also.
So you're cutting out a little, so I'm going to repeat what I think you said. I think
Am
what
I
you
kind of
said
walking
is
around
that
it okay?
we should try to
Yeah, you should
go
be okay.
over the crater rim, come down into the base of the crater again at a heading that's like southeast, then come back over the crater rim and continue on to waypoint 7. So that we'll be sort of making a southeast move. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Let me ask the pilots if that's doable.
I'm going to
Well,
bump up the
we
gain.
believe we are in the crater already.
Copy.
Oh, you guys don't think you're on the rim?
Or Bob, either,
Well, I mean,
either
no,
Stern
we're
or
when we're
Chadwick
inside, we
had
can go
come
down
in,
to the floor.
assembly, sorry.
Stand by for video.
Or
Shift change.
inside.
The kind
Copy.
of classic possible that I see as really fine material, could that actually be? Well, kind of plastics, originally we thought no, that it was probably hydrothermal material. But now with the explosion hypothesis, I'm wondering.
I mean, I think even if there are volcanic plastics here, wouldn't they be covered by hydrothermal sediment?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that would
definitely
depend
down
on
into the
whether
crater
the
there,
lava
right?
comes up as actually lava or hydrothermal material, I guess.
True. Okay, I'm going to go chat with Nav for a
Okay.
minute. So,
Before I put a full turn in, let's come back around.
Patty, are you talking about the loose fine grain stuff in between these crusts?
Yep.
Yes, I am. And we had seen a lot of that sort of material on the lower part of the slope of this feature.
I believe D2 is about right here, where my cursor is, so we can go down into the hole, or we can kind of continue to work around the rim. The problem is we're going to put a turn in the tether if we go a full 360, so we've got to goof around with that.
I know, just wondering.
Okay. Copy that. All right.
Headed
Front
that
row.
way.
Yeah. Direction of travel is going to probably be in the 130-ish.
okay, so
130.
for
I
the
will
shore-based
follow.
scientists and
Copy that.
those of you who are following along, we are wandering around this crater-like feature that's covered in extinct sulfide and some diffuse flow. We've had a lot of interesting discussion about why this may be the way it is. Could it have been some kind of explosive lava feature and then been sort of inhabited by hydrothermal vent sulfides? But that's not really what I was going to talk to you about. Instead, what I'm going to say is that we're actually going to turn and come across the bottom of the crater. We're going to strike out to the southeast, which should take us up and over the lip of the crater on the southeast side, and then we will head towards waypoint 7.
Okay. See if we can avoid that.
Did you get all that?
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and get a move in?
I'd like, since we've got the offset, I'm not
And actually,
100%
while
where
we're
I
having
am.
this
I'd like you
conversation,
to
so
try
we're here
and
at this
find
crater. There's some
point
lovely
down
diffuse
for
flow.
me.
Copy.
We saw some shrimp.
Let me
we
push
saw
out
some
then.
crabs. We saw
Safely.
lots and lots of snails, some of which were alive. And we're here at a depth of 3,290.
Because you actually may be able to just
meters?
get there without moving the ship.
The lip.
And we've got about
Because they want to go
an
find
hour
the low.
left in our dive.
Okay.
And we are at
So I
waypoint
think
6
you've actually
for
just
the
swung
science team.
around the
And for
edge of
those
the
you who are listening
crater
along,
now.
We're
And
still
so
at
if you
waypoint 6,
go
but you would have to turn to a different screen to see it.
downish, 'cause I think you in that maneuver you just
no,
went
it's all
from
that white
there
stuff.
to
Right,
there.
right, right.
So
Okay.
Broken sulfides.
So
Not normally white.
So you think I can get to the lip here?
no, they want to go to the bottom. They want to
Okay.
get to the low right now.
Okay, so keep lateraling right and coming around and rotating.
Yeah, and backing up.
Gotcha.
I suspect Sirius might literally be sitting at the low.
Okay. Understood now. Some interesting terrain.
So, pilot and or nav, could one of you tell us, like, when we're in the base of the crater, if we are not already there?
Yep, we're still working on figuring exactly where we are.
Okay, perfect.
The feature seems actually a little smaller than we thought, so when we tried to turn around to go down, we ended up on the other wall.
Oh. So, science, I'm not sure if you heard that or not, but basically, so we're
Just
wandering
back
around this
up here.
crater. We all agree on that part. It looks like it might be a little
Just
bit
a look.
smaller than they thought it was going to be, and so when we went to go wander around the base, we found ourselves up on the wall again. So we're going to give the pilots and navigators a little bit of time to sort themselves out here, and then hopefully they'll tell us what's going on. Those white rocks were that we just passed, was that just
Okay.
more hydrothermal alteration? Certainly didn't look like
So
that
I
to
think
me.
you're here now.
Right. And we went ahead. Where Sirius is heading?
Just keep going down. Follow the terrain down.
Keep going down. Okay.
Is your tail light on?
No, I don't think so. Turn it on.
The Woods Hole scientists want to thank everyone for a fabulous, excellent dive. We're going to have to sign out now. Thanks again.
Thank you all so much.
Okay. Oh. I think Sirius is... I think you hit it on the head there.
Yep.
So if we want to head southeast, then...
Oh, it's down.
So we just got a
way.
great picture from Tara Harmer Luke, who is at home or possibly in her office, I'm not sure which, hanging out, looking at pictures of shrimp and having a great time.
There
Tara,
it
thank
is.
you so much. You've been stalwart with us on this expedition so far. I think you've been on almost every dive.
All right, watch leads. That's the bottom.
Okay, great.
All right, so we found the bottom of this
And
crater.
what looks like another, yeah. I think this is
This is
the
exactly
same
the
place
same.
we were before. Yeah,
So
where
maybe
there's
that's just the bottom.
where there's the dead
Yeah.
Yeah.
gastropod clump.
Yeah, we saw this. It was thrilling then, and it's thrilling now.
So upwards and onwards.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
So pilot,
call it
something
130
to note.
direction of travel.
We saw some tiny little zoanthids. They're like tiny anemones coating some of the rocks previously. And so biologists have decided they'd like to sample some of those. So I'm going to keep my eyes out. But if I do see them, I am going to yell at you to please collect them.
Okay.
So just so you know.
Yeah, sounds good. Just let us know.
Thanks.
All right, so we're done here and want to start our traverse to waypoint 7.
Diva, do you think there's any of those inside this crater, or are you talking about the ones you saw outside?
No, Chris. So
That was Bill, I think.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was Chris.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay. So we didn't see any inside of the crater, but we did see some on the outside. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled. But I don't
Deb, you
I don't
want to
want us
start the
to have
transit
to
to waypoint 7?
backtrack to find some.
Okay. I was thinking we could
Watch
start
leads now.
heading southeast towards the next waypoint.
No, it's definitely Bill. Yeah. Sorry, Bill. I thought you were Chris.
I think
heading
the plan,
southeast.
I think the plan is that we are going
Yeah.
to head southeast towards the waypoint, and the only reason that we would be stopping would be if we find one of these rocks that have these
Yeah.
All right,
zoanthids
guys.
on them.
How much move are you comfortable with?
So
20 meters to start with,
that's our
Chris?
plan for right now.
Exactly.
And Bill, can you refresh our memory as to what we
Did you say
should
10?
expect to find at
I said
waypoint
20.
7?
Yeah, I think 20 is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's just another, site where in the photo survey that there was lots
Bridge
of
nav.
light on the bottom. There's no obvious chimney.
Ship move,
in the
please.
symmetry.
20 meters, 130 degrees,
so-
0.2
Right, I'm
knots.
going to center up at 130.
Definitely not a
Okay.
huge structure.
Sounds good.
At
What about waypoint
115
8?
right now, about.
Would it be better to go to waypoint 8 than waypoint 7?
Just line up. We're good.
Yeah, we're about there.
Okay, cool.
Maybe, yeah, because I think 8 is one of those places where it looks like there was definitely active venting. Well, there's probably active venting at both sites, so I'm not sure. I don't know that there's that much to differentiate the two just from the photos, from the entry photos.
Is waypoint 8 a little bit higher than waypoint 7? Like, is there a little bit more elevation there? It's hard for me to tell.
I don't think so. So I guess all things being equal, I just
Is that
sort of
directed at
7
nav?
since
Okay.
60 or shorter.
Okay.
I always love the colors in areas of hydrothermal vent deposits. Sort of more vivid browns and oranges and greens.
We love them until we try to pick up fresh rocks, and then we're really not happy about them. So they're really beautiful to look at until you're trying to sample.
So waypoint 7. So
Yeah.
130.
So going
Copy.
to
So
7,
biology
130.
So waypoint 7. still.
Yeah,
130.
Going
Copy.
to
So
7,
biology
130.
in the
And I think
in
this is going to be
view
the
right
offset
now,
point, so we're going to move here
as
to
we're
try
on
and
one
get
of the
there.
peripheral areas.
But there
we
isn't
can
a
only
lot
really
of
see
fathy here,
Cygnetopsis
so
squat
basically when we get
um,
closer,
and
we're going
also
to just
some
start
bifid
chasing,
crabs, I
staining,
think.
and animals, I'm sure.
Both
Copy.
of those tend to be
Let me know when you think you
scavengers,
start moving there,
predators,
co-pilot.
so they sort
yeah,
of
copy
loop
that.
around the outside of the areas of hydrothermal venting and pick off anything that they can get access to. This has just been the most amazing dive, and I can't believe how quickly it's flown by, and I really don't want it to end.
It's been an awesome dive. But can I mention, so one of the things that we look forward to every day here is when they open the ship's store so that you can buy T-shirts and you can buy candy and you can buy soda. It's very exciting when you're on a ship. This is a big thing. So they're offering 10% off in the ship store, and we can't go because we're here. But we think this might be better than going to the ship store.
I mean, I can't believe you're even comparing those
You want
two
to zoom on
things.
black here? Video? Can we get a zoom on the black?
Absolutely.
Just hold there.
Are you kidding? This is way better than
This is way better. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I don't know. I bought a lot of shirts. 10%
Okay.
off would have been good.
Come on, thanks. While we're waiting, I'm just going to lateral around here.
I don't know about you. These look like seriously altered rocks to me.
I'm just going to go with whatever you just said, because I am not a geologist.
You know, if I can learn biological terms, which we can
I
argue
mean, I know
haven't been very
some,
good
but I
at
just
so
don't
far.
understand the alteration bit of it. See, look, told you.
So I mentioned T-shirts on the air, and now Diva's mom wants one. This is really cool. I really should be putting this in the event log as well.
We can also see some anemones or actinurians hanging out amongst the rocks. I think there's at least 2 species here.
Oh, we got more little chimneys. Could you imagine what this would have looked like when all of this was alive? I mean, just envision this large crater, filled with active venting. It'd be pretty cool.
You can lose the skids as we come over here.
Would have been
Video.
as cool as
Roger,
the chimney
thank
we
you,
saw at
Pat.
the beginning.
No, never.
No, because that or the forest.
No, there's
Forest
something about the spires that really
Yeah,
is just amazing.
it was phenomenal. The beginning of this dive was just
I would say most of this dive was truly phenomenal.
It's true, but the beginning was particularly amazing.
Well, there's something about driving up on an active hydrothermal vent chimney that has not been seen before that is quite satisfying.
Hey, Deb, it kind of looks like there's maybe some veining in some of these rocks in the foreground on the right.
Yeah, it does actually. So do you think that these were intense episodes of hydrothermal venting, or like what would have caused that?
Yeah, we're debating. Bob keeps wondering if some of these are basalt or not, but he hasn't convinced me yet.
Okay,
yeah,
you think you're moving?
It's hard to know because some of them do look quite blocky.
It's tough to say.
But,
I don't think so yet.
One of
Not
the
yet.
things that I think I've taken away from this expedition so far, not just here at the hydrothermal vents, but at all of the
The
locations
move is
we've
6
been to,
minutes
is
old,
that
so I'd expect to
unless you're
start
looking at a
moving
fresh
about
flow
now.
of basalt, it's
Copy
kind
that
of hard
now.
to figure out the lithology of the seafloor sometimes. several of the things that we picked up over the course of our dives that we thought were volcanic were not. They were just coated in manganese crust and looked good. So I tend to agree that right now I'm thinking we're mostly in sulfides, but I could be persuaded that some of this is altered volcanics.
So these anemones we're looking at are likely Marionactus, Bythios. Where?
What is that stuff at the top of the screen?
More anemones and rocks.
And rocks. Okay, I'm sorry. Please talk about the anemones.
No, it's fine. So these are likely Marionactus Bythios, the white ones. We have seen some purple ones in between, and I think they are a different species, an undescribed species possibly. But these white ones they're actually, well, it's thought that they're carnivorous. So they eat any spot lobsters or shrimp or any of the animals that may sort of wander into reach of their
I think I'm
tentacles.
starting to move. Okay.
Which is pretty interesting because you don't usually think of anemones in that way.
All right, the ship
See
is
something instead of fish on the right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bottom right, yeah.
all right. The ship is stopped.
Okay.
Do you mind if I go ahead and put another one in?
Nope, go ahead.
I want to make it 30 this time, if that's okay.
Yeah, we should be away from this thing by then.
Yep. Bridge now. meters, 130 degrees, 0.2 knots, please.
They are putting the ship moves now. I think they've already started them.
Yeah, we
Very
just finished one move and we're starting another one.
Yeah, they just finished one move and they are beginning another one to move us in the direction that we need to go.
There's one of those snails. I don't know if you wanted to take another look.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
pilots,
a
is that possible?
On that
Good,
bottom
good
left?
spot, Chris.
Bottom left?
Yeah, so can we zoom in on this white snail, please? And here and we can also look at those two anemones side by side because those might be different species. Yeah. So Stace, do you
She's not
know
on.
if...
I think they went home.
did Stace go home?
I think they all went home.
Okay, video. Start to come in.
All right, so we're looking at
Hold there.
this white snail that someone else is going to have to talk about because I don't know what it is. You just turned yourself off.
So these are called Phymenorhynchus. They're a type of predatory gastropod, and we saw one a little earlier in the dive having a full-on feast on one of the Alvinoconcha gastropods, or snails. And you can see he's
have
got
more
a...
zoom.
Come again.
his
I have
siphon
more zoom.
sticking out of
Copy.
the front of his
You can come in.
Roger.
shell.
That's full.
Copy. Oh, that's me, sorry.
Eva, what's that lower appendage, the smaller one? Is that part of the siphon?
Being blown off here. Stand by. Can you
So,
Yep.
come on a little bit?
so we can see his
Oh,
foot
there.
patty, which is the majority of his body. And then maybe both? Oh.
Oh, is she asking about that little thing behind him?
No, so he has two sort of elongated
Pseudopodia?
structures coming. No,
Oh.
not pseudopodia.
I don't know. Making this up. So that's the big thing is the
The
foot.
big
though.
thing is the foot, yes. And I'm failing miserably at gastropod taxonomy right
The
now.
two things that are sticking out the front end of the shell.
Steve is frantically Googling right now.
Don't tell anybody that.
Oh, that's true, actually. She's on Wikipedia.
About that.
Yeah.
Nope. Anybody else online knows the gastropod morphology? Scott's saying one is a siphon tube. Yes, I know that, but then
Symmetry is
what's the other one?
I think we're okay for more zoom here.
Roger.
Okay, so there is the siphon tube
That's
coming
full.
out on the left.
Copy.
There's an in-current siphon for respiratory currents and for sniffing out prey. The larger tube leads to the gill. Yeah, Scott, it would probably be good if you called in because all I can do is repeat your words. But I'm sure you can explain it.
That's fantastic info, Scott. Go for it.
And I'm wondering if anybody knows, I mean, I've just looked at the species list for this area, and Phymenorhynchus isn't on it. So I'm curious as to whether people know if this has been described.
But I'd have you at 70 in my
whether
camera.
it would be a
So we have a
selection
couple more minutes.
specimen target. I'm
Copy
not sure.
Should we
It's
go
not on
for
the
the enemy?
list,
Come partial,
but it may
yeah.
have been collected elsewhere.
Let's just come full wide
Ready.
while they make that decision there. Stand by one. All right.
And can we zoom on the two anemones facing us, please?
Sure. You can come on in video.
So you're talking about the two on the
Holding
bottom
partial.
being different than the one on the top, is that right, Eva?
Is that
Well,
partial?
so
Is that what you said?
initially,
Yeah.
no.
Copy.
I was saying that, you know, perhaps they're two different species because of the difference in color. But now that I'm looking at them closer, I'm going to agree with you, Chris, in that the two on the bottom look similar, despite the slight variation in color,
Have you at 80
to
degrees,
the one on the
pilot?
top. I don't know if
Copy.
you agree with that.
I think it's a possibility.
Because on the
Hi guys, it's Scott. I just called in. I didn't hear the last question or comment.
Hey, Scott. So I think right now they were just debating anemones, but if you could tell us a little bit more about the
Phymenorhynchus.
yes, the snail that we saw, that would be great.
Sure. So from the angle I saw, and I should also point out that, like Diva, I'm not a mollusk expert, or gastropod expert. So I'm telling you more what I know from teaching invertebrate zoology. But those sorts of snails have that one
Alright,
long
I'm
tube, which
right
is
on top
basically
of you
a
now.
curling
Okay.
of the side of the inner body wall that comes out, and using cilia they can draw in a current from the left side, and that does two things. One, on the inside
Got 30
of
more
that
seconds here,
shell
watch
is a large
these.
gill, and so it brings the water across with oxygen, so you get a respiratory current. But it also brings in any chemicals that are in the
Come on.
water so they can use it to detect prey. And you'll see snails related to those in shallow water that have a very flexible siphon. They can move around, and they're kind of probing the water and searching for where might something be that kind of smells
Okay.
is the equivalent of smelling an air, and move towards that. The other structure that we saw, the smaller one that was just below that, I'm pretty sure that was one of the sensory tentacles. So, some snails have eyes on the tips of these sensory tentacles. Otherwise, they're just tactile or chemosensory, and so that's probably what it was. I would imagine if we saw it from the front end, we would a pair of those, one from either side of the head.
Thanks, Scott.
There are two fish in the distance.
Yeah, see that. I'm gonna
There you go, a
push
little
out
lesson
here.
in gastropod morphology for you.
That was
Oh, and a
fascinating.
third on
That
the
was
left.
fascinating.
Copy.
I will be the first to admit I don't know anything about gastropods.
There's a lot more of those snails,
fact,
looks like.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there are a lot more Phymenorhynchus. So there are about 10 described species, no, more than 10, 20 described species. So I think they're probably not a specimen for collection.
You want
to
to go
be
snap
honest.
here?
Roger.
Yeah, can we snap zoom on some of these fish?
Sure.
please?
Can we
See.
keep coming? Keep coming.
That's
Just
not
that. I understand. I'm
So
identifying
here's
it.
another one of the
Roger.
candelabrum hydrozoans that we saw earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Ta-da.
They are weird because, I mean, honestly, from far away, they look like they're going to be an eel
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, and is that the same pregnant fish? Are all the fish here pregnant?
I don't know, Diva. I'm not sure we want to talk about that.
I guess there's something in the water.
The ROV pilot just made a terrible pun and said there must be something in the water.
That was Nav.
was funny
I will
then.
not take credit for that terrible
Oh, I'm
joke.
sorry, that was Nav.
Go ahead. Go ahead, video.
Yeah, that looks just like the same fish.
No,
It's
what is that on
pressure.
its back? Ew.
He looks like he got.
Looks like
It's
battle
been a hard
scars.
life.
Taken
Oh,
out
it's
of him.
gross. Oh, those parasites.
Can we
No,
stop
Can we
look
zoom
at
a
the
little more?
injuries.
So this is totally a different animal
Thank you, Brian.
because this one has what
Okay.
looks like several parasites sticking out
Do we need to
the
document
left
that?
side of its body. Oh,
Yeah, of course we do.
I
let's
think
look at
those
this
might
side.
be
I like
bite
this
marks.
I'm very intrigued about the other side. If we do get another shot at it. It's
Come
like
on,
a
video.
car crash. You can't look away.
Coming
Side. Are you following us?
I was
Come
just
full
saying, I
wide.
think they were bite marks, not parasites.
Oh, ew. So our navigator believes they might be bite marks instead of parasites.
Ooh, maybe.
So what would be predating on them? Like what would be trying to eat those fish?
Oh yeah, that's maybe in. No, but then they shouldn't be so fresh.
Come back in video.
That's what I was just asking. I don't know.
Okay, we're zooming.
Hold there.
Zooming on parasites or bite marks or whatever it is.
Come on,
Well,
bite
I can also
marks.
say these do look more like sulfites again. At least the middle stuff does.
How we doing, co-pilot?
Not sure about the top.
I have you at, I'm right on top of you, but
You've got
Okay.
a little
He's
band
okay
up
to zoom.
with us.
little time.
I
keep
don't
coming
think
in
we
video.
ran into any fish today. Oh, ew.
That is
Okay.
not
You
from
can't even
us.
see properly.
Pressure.
Oh, is it a bent
Ew.
tentacle?
Oh my.
Oh yeah, it is. Hold there.
No, wait. No, those are like cuts. No, they're definitely cuts.
Think so?
Yeah, I think those are scales peeled up.
Yeah. Okay, so those are just two little cuts. Maybe it is the same individual we saw before, and it just had a little accident on the way over here, following
Copy.
us. But
If
interesting.
if that was
Probably
from
time to
us,
go,
he
pilot.
would not look like that. Can you come full wide, please?
Yeah, pilot. Probably time to move ahead.
Yeah, that's good. Pushing out.
All right, I'm going to keep the move going.
Copy that.
Bridge nav.
I'm gonna come
Let's
around
do it
back
again.
to the
30
heading
meters,
here.
130, 0.2. Thank you.
All right. That's a little better. Can we lose the skids video?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. And yeah, you can lose the one on the right too. I tilted down. Sorry about that.
Yep.
I just want to look down while we're going downhill here, kind of.
No problem.
So I just wanted to test. Scientists on the shore, can you
Coral.
can you hear us a little bit? Oh, can we zoom in on this coral, please?
We can't hear a word from you.
Chris, are you still not hearing me?
I can hear you, Chris, and so I'm excited now.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue to talk as if they can hear me. So in front of us, we can see a couple of camatulid crinoids again, maybe from Pentametrocrinus. And then in front of us, we've got what looks like our first coral of the day, like actual coral, not a hydrozoan. This looks like an icidid
Okay.
or bamboo coral.
You can come on in video
Roger.
and hold there. Just hoping to get some background there, but okay, and keep coming.
Well, so my understanding is that no one can hear us at all, but we're still here. And we're enjoying looking at what I think might be a coral.
Coming down.
I'll try to call you back.
There's a little polyp. Sorry, that's a dead band on my motors.
We have time for a quick
We have a
establishing.
discussion about when to have
Okay.
the science call once they're back on.
Chris, since I think you can hear me, it's Scott. Have you seen anything like
come on.
this where the each alternating polyp is 90 degrees from the other?
No, not that regularly at all. It's a pretty interesting one. Also, I didn't see any nodes on it, but it's obviously an icidid. But I don't know if you saw any. Well, if somebody wanted to collect it, now's the time. I think they're starting to move off already.
I didn't get close enough look. I think it's okay that they move off. I didn't realize that when we're talking, it can be heard on the video, even though we can't hear the ship. So I got distracted by that.
Comms check, can you hear us
If
on
you've got
shore
time, Chris, why
scientists?
don't you go back in?
This is Diva from the ship.
Yeah,
Now we
very faint, Eva.
Okay, they can hear us again. Okay, it could be you or it could, I'm just making sure that they know it's the ship. Me with my British
Keep an eye on
accent.
my tail there,
Yeah, copy that.
Copilot. Thank you.
What was that about the British accent?
Oh, Diva, Diva was identifying herself as Diva from the ship, and I was like, who else could it be?
Got it, right. I'm sorry, you have a wrong number.
He said, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number.
Okay, come on in, video.
So we're still here, Scott, and I would defer to your expertise with this group. Is this something you haven't seen before, and is this therefore potentially new species or new record for this area?
It's certainly potentially new. I don't believe I've ever seen a bamboo coral that has that regular alternating pattern at 90 degrees, but it may just be a trick of the angle that we're looking at. In fact, if we looked at the front face, maybe it's just that they're what you would call subopposite. So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's new, maybe it isn't. It's just so hard to tell from this view. I think from the way it's organized right now, oriented right now, it may not be that they're 90 degrees, but they're just alternating offset.
Well, all the ones on the back side are all in a row, and all the ones on the front side are all in a row. They're very regularly oriented.
Slightly wider shot.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's the kind of thing that you see in cryptogorgids, for example, a very regular, almost geometric organization of the branching in the polyps, but you don't see that quite so much in the bamboo corals.
So is this a collection option? Because I guess our time's running out, and this is an easy collection for biology, obviously. They can grab it quite
Watch
quickly.
states nav.
Yeah, we need to know now.
Diva or Deb?
So we need to make a decision on shore scientists. Do we want to collect this? We don't have any biology samples
I
yet,
heard
so
you,
we can
Brian,
easily
thanks.
get one of these as well as one other vent fauna somewhere else.
If there's time, then I would encourage it.
Stop the ship.
Anybody else?
Bridge nav.
on.
Going once, going twice, incorporating a 2-minute delay.
I heard, sorry, I was
We got
calculating.
four
Can
that
we
suggest
back
collecting.
up 10 meters?
Okay,
So that's
so
315,
pilots,
10
can we
degrees,
collect a snip of this,
0.3
please?
knots.
Affirmative. Yep. Setting up for now.
I love that we've
Got a
managed.
request
Right,
also
pilot.
from Masako to try to look at the base of it as well.
Ramped up.
Okay, sure. I'll make sure we get some good footage of it. So,
Both packs
pilots, we'd
are
like
on.
to collect a snip of this coral, please.
Affirmative.
So, if we could do some great imagery from the base up to the top before we do, and then a snip from the top, please.
Copy.
And Chris noted earlier that he couldn't see any nodes, and it may be that the skeleton looks really thin on this one. It's, I would suggest that it's relatively
Can you
young. I mean, in the
move
grand
that
scheme of things,
around
still maybe
so I can see back here?
likely more than 10 or 20 years old. But
Oh, sorry.
Can
I
you
was,
do that?
that's why we aren't seeing nodes, which is, I think,
Left.
why we would like to
I
see
was
the
looking
base.
at the wrong
In terms of
video.
collection, I think, no more than a
Do you want to see the tip of the tether or all the way?
No, that's okay right there. I just wanted
great.
to make sure.
Noted. And
Thanks.
No
I just
problem.
wanted to be sure that you guys have never seen a coral like this before, correct?
Yeah, exactly. The thing that was so striking was the perfect regularity of those polyps alternating one side to the other. And I do not remember ever seeing a bamboo coral having that sort of morphology. I see that Sonia is in the chat room. Maybe she can make a comment if she's seen anything like that before. Same with Tina and Asaka. Asako, but
Bridge nav.
Chris and I have never seen anything like that.
Let's add 5 more to that. So 5 additional meters at 315.
Can you tilt down and come tight in on Sirius?
Yeah, where do you want to see?
Tether.
Back? Yeah.
BSR.
Right, video? Yeah, go ahead. On you. I'll just center it up a little.
Partial.
Can you come a little wide? Hold there. How's that look?
I think you look good.
Okay. Can you give it a once over on the tether cam? On this guy. Just look all around. A bunch of different angles. Just ease my anxiety a little.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we can come in here, video.
Roger.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, you look nice and clear.
Cool. Okay, keep coming, video.
So I have to say, I just think it's totally awesome that here on a hydrothermal vent dive, we're seeing what is probably a new species of coral that we can collect.
Why don't you
Like,
spin me up? Already?
just a
Yeah,
great
you're up.
addition
Thank
to
you,
our
sir.
day.
Are you going for
Very
port?
neat.
$5?
Yeah.
Copy that.
And
I don't believe we
I'll
have
back
any
that up
bio
by
samples right
saying
now.
it's,
I think you can
really
go ahead and
exciting for
extend,
me.
really.
I think I noted
Well,
earlier that
just hold it. Hold
my
off on
first
that.
ever dive
You
into
get
the
the
deep
pin
sea
ready.
in 1987 was to an area just north of here.
Hydraulics coming on.
And at that time, I was a graduate student. I was working on hydrothermal vent and hydrothermal vent amphipods. And
Pilot, if
during
we
that
could pan
dive,
to the base as
I
well,
saw my
please.
first bamboo coral.
Tilting
I
the
didn't realize at the
base.
time that I was looking at a
Pilot,
bamboo
do you want to
coral.
keep
I
this
only
Zoom on
worked with
serious?
those 6 or 7 years later. So how awesome is it to
Come again
see
now?
this and to
It
see all
does
of
me.
this
Do you want to
area
keep
and
the Zoom on serious?
No. You
imagery
can
that
come
we
on.
have available with the
Video,
Okeanos
come on
Explorer.
serious cam, please.
You can see some of the nice
Thank you.
Is that good,
intertentacular
Wesley?
needles there. They're not very long. That
Thanks,
is those
Thanks, Bridge.
structures called sclerites. They're made of calcium carbonate. They're embedded in the tissue of these corals. I can see a node right there. They're embedded in the tissue of the corals, and it's
Pilot, do you want
the
any cams
shape,
adjusted?
structure,
You can hold
and
it for now.
ornamentation
You can
of
hold
those
video.
structures that we use in the taxonomy. This is one of the
Okay.
Okay,
reasons
so
why we
pilots,
have
we
such
don't want to collect
difficulty
more than
identifying
a
the coral
third
just
of
from
this
its
animal.
growth
Okay.
colony
Is that good
morphology.
on
You have to look
base?
at these really
Yeah, that's
fine
great.
details
Thank you.
under a
Can you come
microscope.
partial
Under a scanning
video?
electron microscope.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was
Okay.
totally awesome. Really, really interesting. And I'm
And
assuming
actually come full
because
wide.
we only like to collect like a third of the coral or half
Okay.
of the coral, that this means that they continue to grow and they can regenerate from losing a small portion of themselves at the top. Is that correct?
Yeah, let's do mini Zeus up on that.
That is
Yeah.
correct, Deb. And one of the pieces of evidence we see from that,
Do you want
or
to take
we
it from
use
you?
to say
Yeah,
that,
go ahead.
is that we have seen
it's a ship roll.
recovery from predation. So, you know, we've seen
Want me to
sea
center it?
stars and other things that have fed on the coral.
Yes, please.
And then
You
you
just
see the
move it
coral
as
as another
Alright,
branch.
go left.
In part, that's because
Stopped.
this is an asexual reproducer. It's colonial. That is, from a single egg, from a single larva, you see many of
I'm
these
moving a little.
polyps have developed, and each of these polyps has its own mouth and has its own gut, but they're all interconnected. And so when we clip off the top, it's kind of like clipping a shrub or a tree or a plant where it can just begin to grow on a different axis.
Thanks. That's awesome. I like to ask the biology questions that other people are thinking, but they're afraid to ask.
Okay, so you see my coral snips at the bottom there?
Yeah.
Is that okay right there?
Can you move it down a teeny bit?
Down a teeny bit.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
Okay.
just go for it.
Okay.
I think you guys should start saying, hello, you're on the air with Diva and Deb.
Okay.
Pilot, do you want to open now?
Yeah, sure.
opening up.
All right,
I
so
think
while
you
he's
shouldn't hit.
grabbing this thing, I had another quick topic here. And is anyone out there, Scott D or anybody else,
Yeah,
who knows
clear.
anything
Copy.
about the aragonite saturation horizon besides
Do you want me to
my
come down and maze
vague
this?
Yeah,
understanding
just
of
a
it?
little.
And
Copy that
if
coming
so, do you think we're below that
Stopped.
horizon right
Copy.
now? And if so, could it be potentially responsible for how thin this icidid is? Because I sort of noticed on other dives that a lot of the really deep icidids have very thin stalks.
I think that's a very reasonable suggestion, Chris. I'd love to hear if we have any geochemists or physical oceanographers who are tuned in, what they have to say about the CCD. I know it's pretty deep in this part of the Pacific, so we're probably pretty close to it if we're not below it.
CCD in the Pacific in general is about 4,200 to 4,500 meters. That is, except under the, near the equatorial upwelling zone, where it's more like 5,000 meters. So,
All right,
not
close it.
exactly what it is in the Back Arc Basin, but that's
Thank you.
the general information on the Pacific.
So, scientists, while we're continuing to work on this, I just wanted to let you guys know the dive is due to end in about a little less than 3 minutes?
30.
30. I was going to say 15, but evidently 30 is the right answer. We have about 30 minutes left. And as we've been doing, I think what we will ask you to do is
Okay.
take a
Hydraulics clear.
very short
Right.
break, maybe 5 minutes.
Do you mind
and
if I
then
go
we
and get you
will
underway?
reconvene to talk about
No, go
tomorrow's
ahead.
dive.
Disabling
Bridge
valve.
now.
So right around probably
30 meters,
View.
130 degrees,
4:45, we'll come
0.2
off
knots,
the bottom.
please.
So right
Copy.
around 4:50, we will have our science planning call.
And
Please try to stay on the line.
I'm going to put Sirius back.
Tomorrow we'll be
Copy
going
that.
to Zealandia, which is fisheries and coral
Yeah, we
dive.
didn't seem to
So
move it off, so
especially
we're
those
good.
people might want to stay on the line if possible. Thanks.
We have some interest in getting a close-up of one of the crinoids above the coral after it's secured in the box and before we leave, if that's possible.
port inner. Yeah.
Yeah, port inner.
0.2, please.
Okay. We can lift off here.
Yeah, just don't go backwards. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
coming ahead. Okay. Still 130 for now?
Still 130.
Copy.
Pilot, you mind if I lose the skids?
Yeah, I was going to tilt up.
That works.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Sonar look like here. It's right in front of me. Once we get closer, are we looking for an obvious sonar target, or are we going to have
Nope.
to do a little hunting?
We're going to hunt.
Copy.
All right, so I believe we're on our way, continuing towards waypoint 7.
You can lose them now, video.
We have a little bit less than 30 minutes left in our dive.
Thank you.
We're seeing traces of hydrothermal activity, mostly just sediment, and this very jumbled-looking geology. Did we see something like this at the beginning of this dive or on yesterday's dive? I can't remember either.
Like this west coast. platey deposit there?
Yeah, that's sort of the platey looking deposit. I can't remember if that was early today or if that was yesterday.
That was yesterday among some pillows.
Way out there, huh?
Yeah.
Looks like there was
Yeah.
kind of a
That's about your
crust
tether.
over the sediment in between the pillows. Yeah, those look sort of similar.
Yeah.